Mullen Automotive was down 30%. Is the party over? We need to talk about that. Let's do that right now. Welcome back, everybody. Don Miller here from MarketBeat, and backed by popular demand, Thomas Hughes. We're going to talk about Mullen Automotive today. We literally get emails and messages every day talking about doing another Mullen video. Here we are. Thomas, you wrote an article today that's going to drop in the morning, and the title of the article is Mullen Automotive Dilution is Desperation. And if I'm going to read into that a little bit, these are desperate times for Mullen Automotive. That's what you kind of wrote in your article. Tell us a little bit more about what you meant when you wrote that.
Well, I mean, they're heading towards a cash cliff. They want to get production started so they can get some revenue. They don't have a lot of money. There's not a lot of ways for them to get it without diluting the stock. They just announced another reverse stock split, which is only going to dilute the stock more. I think it's just desperate times for a desperate company. Like we were talking about a little while ago, I mean, it's hard to know if I love to hate it or hate to love it, but it seems like hard times. It's desperate times.
You're talking about another reverse stock split. They had their SE form come out, and they're going to ask shareholders to vote on that on August 3rd, I believe it is.
Yeah, right. I think so.
But at that point in time, it kind of might be too late to do anything about it. The stock is down now. I'm looking at my ticker as we record this. They're a little over 30% today. That's on top of yesterday's losses and the day before and the prior 10 days. Not a lot of upward movement here. It just doesn't look really good. Now, I do want to talk about something about the news that Mullen puts out on a regular basis, not a semi-regular basis, I should say. They put out news like partnering with a company to make the cabs for their trucks, or
Right.
or Randy Marion orders and so on and so forth, and they have negligible effect as far as the stock price is concerned. And I think there's a reason for that, Thomas. To actually use or buy cabs from somebody else or partner with somebody, you got to have a chassis first.
Right.
And we're talking about, production in July, and that was seen as a positive when it first came out. But I think what happens is this news comes out, and if there's any positive to it at all, the market just kind of absorbs it and says, well, after a few days, that really wasn't the kind of news that it needed. There was no cash infusion or the promise thereof. And so here we are, kind of tied to an anchor now, headed down,
Right.
and with no end in sight. Would you agree?
Oh, right. All the news is good. It's meant to inspire confidence in the company, and I think to some degree it does. But as you say, they're putting the cart before the horse. I mean, these dominoes are in place, but there's a big chunk of this section before all of this that has to be completed, and that's production. I mean, they're working on production, and maybe they'll get started, maybe they won't.
There are a lot of people in this stock. It's the kind of stock, it's a penny stock that draws a lot of attention, kind of a get rich quick kind of stock, if you will. A lot of people invested in it. And as you've been saying, have said since October, they had a good story. They have a really good story.
Mm-hmm.
But that story's starting to deteriorate at this point, probably a little earlier than at this point. What do you say to investors that are still in it? And we're not stock advisors or financial advisors or any of that, but in your opinion, people that hold Mullen right now, what are you doing as a Mullen stockholder or shareholder?
Well, I think shares are down like 90% from the last split, and there's another split coming up, and they don't have a lot of capital, and they're looking to increase the number of shares that they can issue for warrants and whatnot. I think that more dilution is coming. I think that you have to have some deep pockets to want to just keep buying this stock and hold on to it, because it's going to be a while for it to bounce back. I think at this point now, especially if they split again, it'll take a lot more than just production and revenue to get the stock price back up. Too many people are losing out too many people are probably holding on to this stock, looking at it and thinking, man, if I could get it back up to 50 or 60 or 70, I'm out. And that
And,
probably
and
goes all the way up to like the $10 or $15 level easily.
sure. There's a
So
lot of overhead supply. There's got to be in this stock. I know people have messaged me and said, please just get to 75 cents and I'm out. And, they kind of break even there. Well, there's people at all different points up the chart they're saying the same thing. Just get me to $1. Just get me to $2. Some even to $3, $4, and $5. And I think that's an issue. And I don't think that it gets solved right away. I appreciate your answer about where investors you think you should go. I'm going to give a kind of an alternative viewpoint on that. Again, not financial advice. If you can take X amount of dollars, whatever that is, and set it in the middle of your driveway and set it on fire and not worry about losing it, you can probably stay in Mullen. If you think you could take that money, whatever it is in Mullen, and kind of move it over into something else and try and recover, pay the tuition on this one and move on, that's a play too. Thomas, I want to thank you for joining us last minute again on a video. I know I tap on you way too much on that, but I appreciate you coming on last minute at the end of your day to do this Mullen video. Our viewers have been asking for it over and over and over again. Here it is, folks. I hope you enjoyed. If it's done anything to help you, encourage you, we'd appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe if you will. We have more videos on the way. Thank you for being here, Thomas.
you're welcome, Don. Thanks for having me.